Right, the sun is not out today, but it's definitely not raining. I don't think it's going to. What we're going to jump onto in this nice, positive, fair weather mood is a load of woodwork cutting. And I think I'm going to start on the drawers and the cupboard doors. We're kind of waiting, as I said in the last video, on our worktops before we can start unlocking more parts of the van to do. But it's a good opportunity to start rattling off these drawers because there's a lot of them to make. I think 11 for down here, and then there's 6 doors for up top as well. You've got a few little bits you can be on with, finishing up the painting for the roof. I'm gonna start on these here and go for one of these smaller drawers first. Try to probably put in the rails that they're gonna sit on, and then I can work out exactly how wide they need to be. Then I can cut the wood for it all, build it as a box, and then work out some way of fitting it in here with the front board, which is currently here. Then you can inspect it and tell me it's wrong.
Always.
In here, we have got a load of drawer runners that are the right length to fit inside this cupboard. These drawer runners are pretty cheap as far as thing goes. You can spend an awful lot of money on these, as I found out when I was researching. You get them with soft close, you get them with push to open, and they kind of vary between about £1.50 and about £20 per drawer. Now with so many as we've got going on, kind of hesitant to spend several £100s on just drawer runners. So these are actually quite cheap. These are £2.50.
If they break, it's on you.
If they break, it's on me. I think the first thing I'm going to do, cut off a few strips of this wood, been and bought some more of this today, and mount that in here like this going across, which will give us things to mount our drawer runners onto. This cupboard is going to have an ever so slight surround to it, just to give a bit of space off the edges for the drawers. So whilst the spaces look bigger, the actual drawer size is going to be the same. What I'm going to do is take a measurement of this one here, work out where halfway is, and then mark that on all of these edges, so that I then know where to fit these supports across to make it all work. We've marked on basically where these heights are on the wall on the back. I've taken measurements in from the side, so I've kind of got this reference on the wall over there. I might line these runners up with the top of this line here. Just that way more weight is kind of kept below the runner than above, and it should try to weight it downwards, I would guess. I'll start fixing these in. As I said, we'll do this top one and then we can see if it makes sense for all the others. So now I'll try to fit these drawer runners, and then we can work out how wide the cupboards need to actually be. I'm going to make these drawers out of a 9mm ply, that's for the backs and the side, which may be a little bit thin, but because they're quite a compact size, I don't think it's going to be an issue with their structural integrity. It seems also whenever you buy drawers, they're never the full height of the sort of hole they fit into, so I'm going to do these at 20 centimetres high, although the total gap in height is probably about 23, 24. I've just measured between those runners as well, and that's 30 centimetres. So I'll cut off one piece now that we can just try and make sure it fits in nicely before we then cut the sides and try to make some sort of box, I guess. Yeah, that fits. Not much more to really test for that, so I guess I should measure how long these sides need to be and then cut those out as well. So next up is going to be the base of these drawers, which I'm going to do out of ever so slightly thinner 6mm ply. Again, trying to keep weight down here, and heavy drawers, they move, so it puts a lot more stress on all of the different joints of the runners and everything, so I think this will be fine because they are quite compact. Should probably cut out the front of this as well whilst I'm kind of doing stuff. Oh, why does this every single time I'm trying to cut stuff? So we're going to do the front of these drawers bigger than the drawer itself, because they're going to sit against the front of the unit and make it look a nice surrounding. Using some of that wood that we cut out in the last video to cover over the front of the cupboards. So that is the front, the back, the bottom and the sides all cut, ready to go. I'm going to try and build these together now into the actual drawer itself, then we'll work at fitting it in, and then I guess we can move on to the other 8, 9? No, the other 10. There's 10 more. So this one is going to be overset slightly. I'd say that's a yes. It's a nice fit. And then what we'll do is have the other one, so we'll have gaps between all of these drawers. Right, so to give this box a bit more of a rustic finish, highlight the screws on the front. I've got some 6mm by 40mm sort of stripwood. I'm going to make a small frame around the edge of this. So I'll take the measurements for that, cut the corners at 45 degrees so it gives a nice edge, and then we're going to glue those on the front.
So wanting to escape.
Right, so now I think we can actually just glue these on the front. We'll give that a little bit of time to dry, nicely clamp down tight, and then we'll see if we can get that hung on those runners. Moment of truth. Quite excited. Let's go grab Sarah, see if I get the thumbs up.
You sure you don't want a little nubbin?
Yeah, I think maybe we should.
It would look nice.
A small little.
Just a little.
So, with that signed off, I guess I've got...
Well, it's dark. Let me see it in the day.
Okay, we'll get one more look tomorrow. And I guess if everything is good, I'll just start rattling off more of those. And the next time I kind of check in, I guess they'll probably all be done. There's no point me filming and showing you that process another 10 times. I mean, I'm kind of not looking forward to doing it myself, so... We'll catch in, I would say, probably the day after tomorrow, when there's a lot more drawers built. We're back after a very busy, showery, rainy day of drawer building. I managed to work late, get it all done, get everything cut. Only thing that's not quite done yet is gluing the front borders onto all of this, so going to be kind of doing that rolling throughout the day. Just limited on clamps. haven't got enough clamps to do 11 drawers at once, so that's going to be going throughout the day. The drawers are all in and looking great though. There's 6 down here that are all quite a nice size inside. One inside here. We've got a really big one here for our bin. It's going to hold the bin in there. This side here there's a triple, and then this one here is kind of a bit skinnier. It fits our fridge in here, but it still gives all that room behind for that water access stuff. I haven't actually lined them all up yet and adjusted them so they fit nice and flush, because what I'm going to try and do first is fit this board on the front of here, work out how to cut the holes for that, which might be a bit of a challenge. It's going to be probably more pencil marks and head scratching. Try to mark on the inside of this so that when I put the board against it I can still see the lines to draw the references on. That was awkward. Let's see if I can mark that up properly on the back now, and if it makes sense. Maybe I need to measure again, but I think that might be right. Getting somewhere. I'll just put that back in and see if it makes sense before actually cutting it. I don't want to mess this up. Okay, so I'm going to say that this one now is done, and now I need to flip around, do the same over here. Another great fit. The only thing I've not done yet is cut out the holes for this entry in here. I'm not quite sure how we're going to finish that, so I'll go ask Sarah if she's got any ideas. It's now raining. It's so frustrating, this weather at the moment. It's just, I know it's Scotland, but it's just like out of nowhere you suddenly get a real heavy downpour that forces you to just abandon everything and just stop progress. God, never do a van conversion in Scotland. Just for a little bit of consistency on things, I'm going to curve the top of this. We'll use the same measurement we've been using for a lot of the other curves. We'll try and get this cut before the next shower. Nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is probably put some glue on this and then try and just tack it into place, and hopefully we never have to take it off again. Right, so that's that mounted too, just like the other side. What I'm going to do now is, with the drawers that are finished, that have got the front stuck on, I'm going to put these in, and then I'm going to have to adjust some of the runners just so they sit nice and flush with the front. Do that sort of probably slowly over the next day as these slowly get glued. So whilst a lot of that stuff is inside drying, all those fronts are being glued on, I'm going to try to fit our bin inside this drawer here. I'm going to try and cut some lengths of batting that's going to run either side that the bin's going to sit on top of. Maybe some lower down, just so it doesn't bang as we're driving. And then we'll leave a space below this, which will be used for some sort of storage of things we don't use very often. Probably things like bin bags and various cleaning things that are quite rare, but you kind of still need to be tucked away somewhere. Goes in nicely but gets stuck. Probably should have measured a little bit better beforehand, but I was trying to race the rain. I'm going to switch it for this instead, which I think will work better. We'll just take those screws out and switch them over. Okay, change of plan. We'll take this, we're going to fix this way, across the drawer. This can go in and sit on top of it, and then I'll put these in lower down to stop it moving side to side. just moved that across because I realised I'd done it at the back and not the front. And now that I've moved it to there, it's actually somehow a way better fit. I don't know if I've done them slightly closer, but there's now like no movement. So I'll say that's actually done. Next in my day of drawers is the fridge drawer, which is just here. This is the fridge we've had in our old van for a little while now. We don't actually run this on the mains full time. We connect it up to the cigarette lighter and basically have it only running when we're driving. Because we kind of drive a little bit each day, we find that that keeps it cool and doesn't drain our power too much by having it on all the time. Being in Scotland, the weather's very rarely warm enough that it gets too cooking in here. And because it's only kind of, I don't know, 35 litres maybe, you can't really fit quantities and quantities of stuff in here. So we found that that's a very good method and stops us draining all our power in the fridge. The drawer has been built so that this fits inside. And I'll probably do a similar type thing with this. I'll just cut off some strips of wood and fit it either side just to hold it nice and secure in place. Perfect. Probably need to spend a little bit of time cleaning up in here. Made quite a bit of mess today with all the rain, and there's kind of just stuff building up and accumulating. What I'll do now is I'll probably spend the rest of the evening just getting these bits glued. And there we have all these drawers sanded, fixed, stuck in, looking great. Really pleased with this effort. So right as we finished literally filming our clip, the Worktop arrived, which is one 4 metre length of countertop. Nightmare to store, so we're probably best to cut that straight away. Get that measured up, and then, I mean, as I've said many times, it then enables us to do so much more. Even though we aren't going to fully fit it yet, we can at least rest it on the tops, and then we know how to work sizings off of that. So time to get cutting a very expensive big bit of wood.
What's got in the net? Mosquito.
So this is our worktop, which are going to form both of our counters either side, our table, and a small lift-up shelf off the end of it as well. I believe this is 27 millimeters thick.
Is it?
And 4 meters in length. So we've just cut it out for this side here. Now I've just measured the other side, which is a 107. And then our table wants to be 90. And then we need another 40 on the end, which is going to fill in the hole where our sink goes and become a bit of a chopping board sink lid. Here we have stuff cut.
Yeah, my neck too.
And your neck.
Nasty.
Let's try and just balance these up onto the various sides they're going to go. And then I think the best way of cutting out to the right length is going to be to trace around the bottom. It comes in sheets that we've kind of got about 30 centimeters extra. So we've cut all of these a little bit too long so that then we can just trim down when we get there. Yeah. So let's put these on and then we'll actually get a bit of a sense of what it's going to look like when it's finished. Oh yeah, this looks sick. At the moment, these are unfinished, untreated, just oak boards. What we can do now is easily trace around the underside of these against the edges. We know exactly how big they need to be then to cut out. And then once they're cut out, we still need to stain them and then oil them just to help protect them. We're going to do these in the dark wood to match this up here, which will be the same as the table when we get there too. The table, I think we should wait until we're into that little stage because we can't yet fix it in. There's nowhere to fix it to. The table leg's still in the old van.
Oh, we're going to use that same table leg?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see why I would replace it, like,
Sure.
works.
Okay.
So I'm going to draw on the underside of this, and then I think we'll have this over sitting the edge of the counter, probably by the same width as these drawers, just to sort of tie this in nicely, and it will hide the slight gap you inevitably will get between two bits of wood. Just drawing on the width of the drawers for that nice overhang. So this worktop here is going to extend over the edge to about here. In this end it's going to be a flap that hinges down. We've got that in the current van. Works really, really well for that extra sort of worktop space when you need it. Yeah, it's so good.
You love it a lot.
Just for like when you're cooking, you're like, oh, I need somewhere to put a pan or a plate or something. Yeah. We'll cut this narrower all the way along, and then we'll worry about that.
We'll worry about that later.
Yeah. I think this I'll put somewhere safe inside for now, because I don't need to do this yet. I'm going to put some curved corners on this just to tie in a big curved theme. Oh, it looks so nice.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the lip.
It's like overhang.
Yeah.
It feels mental that that's what we've been waiting so long to do, is just to draw a line on the wall where this lines up. But now we know where to cut the bottom of our tongue and groove. So we have to pray that tomorrow is dry, because we've got a lot of cutting to do. Today is the day. We're excited. It isn't as clear and sunny as we thought it was. It seems to be going through vicious cycles of torrential downpour. 15 minutes later, sun, and then rain again. So I think the best thing we're going to be able to do to make it work is actually cut these down in here. Set up an extension lead through. We've got our meter saw in the back, and I guess we'll just have to do it one by one between the rain. So let's start, I would say, this wall.
And maybe we should do this one, because we know this one's easy and small.
I think we need to wait for tiles for this one to know where we're going down to.
No, but we know that we're going one...
We know we're doing the top half, I suppose.
We're coming to here, at least, and then this is tiles.
Okay, let's start on this wall here and just start getting some stuff up.
Yeah.
And then we can discuss this in half an hour once we've done this. We're going to do tiles up to around here. So I would say we can cut them all, but the lowest one we can always take off and trim off when we know how big the tiles are. It would be nicer to get the tiles in whole rather than having to cut.
I agree.
Halfway through.
We have two of them, so we can at least measure
Yeah.
what it would be.
Okay, well this here is
The way, so this one needs to be cut short.
Yeah. We want these to line up both sides so that the tongue and groove behind the wall matches in front. I'm just going to take a reference from here for how thick this top one needs to be that we cut down this side. And we can fit that side, and hopefully they'll then be the same.
I'm freezing.
With the back, what we actually did was we kind of cut them all, then took them out again, and then tried to put them up. And that was kind of quite a long-winded way. It made it actually fit them in quite hard. I think this time, let's just fix them up as we go. This one we're probably going to have to just do in two parts, because it's so low, that's not going to hold any strength at all. So I'll just cut this into two small bits. Shall we put another full strip across? And then when the tiles get installed, we'll know where to cut this next one down. I think until your big order of tiles arrives, that's kind of all we can do to this area. We probably need to spin around now and start on the big wall. This side here is obviously a little bit more difficult because we've got this awkward little window area to negotiate the table height cut too low a couple of videos ago. I think we'll probably kind of deal with that when we get there, but I think we'll just run the window height to maybe here. This little cutout here will also do the same as the other side here, where we'll kind of trace around the inside. But we'll start ripping these off nice and long now that it's not raining and we can carry the wood from inside to outside. It's been a torrential downpour for the last like 40 minutes that kind of stopped us just going inside to get wood, because honestly, I think it was hailing actually. This one's going to be a little harder to line up because I need to take a little bit off the top, but we haven't got the unit to line up with like we did the other side. I'll take a measurement of what this should be and then try and cut off that top bit. Just like the other side, this wall is slightly angled outwards. So this junction here, this corner, isn't actually 90 degrees, it's slightly more open than that. So I'll cut this piece down with a slight angle on the cut, just like I did the other side, so it fits nice and smooth and we minimise the gap you'll see running along the edge there. Right, we're now into the slightly easier bit of cutting shorter length. Well, another day of rain and just persevering with the weather, but we have made that in and the wall looks good. It's getting a little bit dark now, so I'll have a proper inspection in the morning. Hopefully it's good enough and we can move on to the next job, which I'm not really sure what it's going to be. Maybe trying to tongue and groove the sliding door. And then we have, in the light of day, the wall is up, looks great actually. Really kind of just helps to make the place feel a little bit more finished. The only real issue I had throughout the whole thing was that the bolts that hold the plug socket in now aren't long enough, but it's such a minor thing. I'll just have to find some slightly longer bolts. Now there's the kind of awkward elephant in the room, which is the sliding door. And this is what I'm gonna try and tackle today. In our old van, it's just carpeted, which I guess is easy, but doesn't look the best, and we'd really love for this to be tongue and grooved and wood panelled, so it keeps the whole aesthetic all the way through. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare to do, but I do think it's possible. The only real concern I have is not making it so thick that when we open the door it just scratches down the side of the van, but I think there's enough clearance for it, so that's okay. So we've actually still got the plastic door card that's sat up here, so I can use that to trace around to create one out of wood. The one at the bottom unfortunately snapped coming off, so I'll remake that and have to measure that. But this is really quick and easy. The only problem we have got is that I haven't got loads of wood lying around for this, so I'm going to do this in just two parts. It doesn't really matter because it's going to be tongue and grooved over. It'll just give me something to bond those two so that they're not sort of floating and bouncing around. It's not cleanest cut or the best work I've done, but it's enough that we can put tongue and groove over it. Down here hasn't got the holes pre-drilled in because this was all push fit into these openings, so I'm gonna have to drill in here. I'm also thinking it might be best to try and take the back out of this so that I can actually access in here, and then I can get this board I've cut up there. Just will have to rust treat the holes in the screws before I put them in. It's been a while since I've had this rust paint out, so I'm going to leave all those holes drying now. Once that paint's dry, I'll get that board up and then I can sort of start working on the bottom half. What I can do for now is start cutting off lengths of wood for this door, and I'll use this here to line them up. Probably start towards the top where I can line up and go all the way across, and then start working out how to do it around the various curves and window. Before I start cutting anything, with a pencil I'm just going to trace all the way around the edge of this seal so that I have an idea of where I need to be cutting all these rounded corners off. I'll make sure the seal's on nice and tight and just draw this round, and then we'll try and bring the tongue and groove right up to the edge. This job is made so much worse by the fact that this is raining unbelievably today. It feels like it's evening, but it's actually just very, very dark and grey. We'll bring this down the edge of the window here, just cut some strips that will run all the way down here. May look a little bit loose and flimsy for now, but the window frame we put in here soon will tie all of this together and just strengthen it. So we'll work on cutting these strips down here now and down the other side.
Yeah, make it just so it covers the black, yeah?
The rain is getting heavier. If I hold it up in place, can you trace along the edge of this with a pencil onto this one? Got maybe one more bit I need to cut off, and then I've probably got quite a bit of tidying to do in here, drying, because it's a state. The weather's been horrendous today, probably one of the worst days we've had in a while. As a result, it's a lot darker than it actually is, but it is getting close towards sunset dinner time, so what I'll probably do is finish up here and then have a proper good look and inspection first thing in the morning in the light.
The wood makes everything bigger. I don't know how.
Feels really good.
Feels big.
Tidied everything up a little bit today. So nice. It feels like we're so close to finishing, but then you think about what we still need to do, and there's actually still quite a lot of just small things all over the place. Finished off the door, got that looking really neat. We've still got a window frame to go in here, as there is this side. Both walls looking amazing panelled. Feels like we're making really, really good progress and getting a lot closer towards like the very final few stages. There is still stuff to do though. We still need to do the roof in here and then literally paint everything you can see. And then there is like electrics, plumbing to finish up. There's then the gas system for the cooker. There is still quite a bit to do, but we really are making good progress and it feels visually really close.
I think we're there. We just need to, just get everything done.
Yeah.
Just get everything painted. Once it's painted, it's going to feel like...
I know. But that's probably going to be the end of this one. And we need to have a little bit of a think about what exactly we're going to break into next. And take it one more step closer to finishing. $90 for the table.
I told you! This is why these things scare me.